Hello folks, I'm Dean with Dean's Woodworking. Welcome to the shop. Y'all come on in and make yourself comfortable. We're going to do something a little bit different today, as in I'm not going to do a turning project. However, we are going to set up a Trent Bosch stabilizing rig. It's brand new or 3 years old, depending on how you want to look at it. You see, I bought it right before I had to stop going out to the shop. It's basically been sitting there. I've been dying to use it this whole time. So we're going to set it up tonight, and then hopefully tomorrow I can get out here and do a hollowing project and see how it works, okay? I know it works great. I've used them before. I've just never owned one, okay? So this is the main part of the rig, and it just slides right into your banjo, and tighten it down. We're going to have some adjustments to make here in a few minutes, but right now we're just going to concern ourselves with getting it all assembled. The other thing is we need to put a tool in there. Real fast, before we get too far into this, guys, you saw the main part of the rig here that I just put in the banjo. Comes with a couple of adapters. So the one I bought is the 3/4. This is a 5/8 and 1/2 inch adapter. I think you can also get a 3/8, but don't quote me on that. But it does come with the 5/8 and 1/2 inch. Also comes with a tool for tightening most of your Allen bolts, and then 2 more for setting it up. And then additionally, I bought the laser and the bracket and everything to hold the laser. With that, you also get this so you can set your laser up to determine your wall thickness. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start putting some of this together. The first thing we're going to do is take this bracket for the laser, and we're going to put it right in here. This little cup right here comes with the laser. You have to mount that on there. So we're just going to put it in there, and I'm just going to give it a couple of twists. It's not tight right now. We'll snug it down later. Folks, while I'm fumbling with all of this, go on down and hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. And one other thing, it's kind of new and I'm not sure how it works, but if you're watching this on a cell phone, when you go down to hit that thumbs up, go over to the right, and in the first, I think it's 7 days, you can hit the hype button. And that's supposed to really boost the video to more wood turners so that they can see it. I sure would appreciate that. Thank you. You guys see these wires running here, and you notice my laser doesn't have any wires. Well, one of the things about having a health problem and not being able to get out of the house and pretty much stuck in a recliner in front of a TV, you get to watch a lot of YouTube. And the more I watched about the stabilizer system, and he also sells the visualizer, which is a great package. Comes with a camera, a monitor, brackets for the monitor. It really is a nice package. But for just a few dollars, I could order a camera on Amazon. And so I ordered the CCTV mini camera. Fits right in there. And so I've got tons of old monitors. Well, I put all this together in my head, and it worked in my head great. So we're going to see if it works in reality. That's what we're assembling today instead of the laser. Just a complete heads up, if something doesn't work with the visual image on the monitor, it is certainly not Trent's fault, because he had nothing to do with that part of it. I'm really excited to get this set up. Let's go ahead and get going on it. This particular tool that I want to set up in here is 5/8. So I'm going to go ahead and slide it right in there. And we have a little screw right here that we can snug that down with. Not going to get it real tight because, as you can tell, it's not ready to go, but we'll just snug that right there for right now. And actually, while we're doing that, let's go ahead and put the handle on this. And you may notice that this is not a Trent Bosch handle either. This is actually a McNaughton hollowing tool. that I have had forever. And so I really didn't need any more hollowing tools since I had them. And so therefore I'm able to use the McNaughton system with Trent Stabilizer. And again, we'll see how that works as well. These are not necessary. They do come with the package, and it might give you some guidance and keep you from going off of the bar, but they are not necessary to use. Now we're going to go ahead and plug this camera in. And you see we do have an image there. So that's a good thing. Let's see here. One of the things that he shows us to do is to come in and position that right there. And then you can draw around that on the TV or the monitor so you know exactly where you're at. So I think we're good right now. Obviously we've got a lot more to set up to do. One of the other things is, notice that this is pretty close to the center of the monitor, and that's what you want. It's going to show you your camera is right above your cutter, which is exactly what you want. Now, as I look at this, there's a considerable amount of space between the bottom of this tool and this bar here. Everything tells me that that is not the way it's supposed to be. So we're going to loosen this up. Yeah, we got down a little bit too far. Seems like that's a pretty fine adjustment there. Doesn't seem like I'm moving it very much at all to go from good to maybe a little too snug. So let's see here. Okay, I see where we're at. And with just the slightest pressure, that's touching. So I'm going to tighten it up right there. Slightest pressure and it's touching. Okay. I believe that's what we're going to want. The next thing, I think, before we do anything else, is we have got to get these wires strapped down, tied off somehow so that that is not a problem, because the last thing we want is wires coming up around spinning equipment. We're going to unplug everything for just a moment, because I want to be able to make sure that we have plenty of slack up here in this. We're going to bring that over here, and then we're going to put a tie right around here as well. Just we might be able to do this. Okay, so that's got those where they're readily available. Actually, that could be a problem. I just realized something. We might not always have this tool on here. So we probably don't want to tie that down like that, because if we do, we won't be able to move it back and forth. So we'll just put another one up here. That looks good to me. We'll take our handy dandy little cable tie tool and tighten those down. We can come back in here and plug this in. We're using the white to yellow there. And this red one here is the power to the camera. So when we plug all that in, that comes on. And we're going to move our banjo in here. That's sort of like if we were cutting. We want to get this where this cutter is dead center. And as you can see here, it is well above center. Again, we have a little collar there, and we will loosen that up. And you know what that's looking like on this one way? That's going to set all the way down. We'll have to see how that works. I may see one problem here. It looks like we may have our tool rotated just a little bit too much. Let's take a look at that. Well, when you do that, that's just about perfect. Okay, let's see here. We'll take that and tighten that back up. And I don't suppose you have to use the collar, but it looks like for me to use it, that's about as close to center as anybody's ever going to get. It may be just a tad below center now that I tightened everything back up, but I am thinking that that looks good. Okay, so let's take a look here. Yeah, just a little bit of pressure, and that's, I'm going to back this up just a little bit, guys. That's one thing about putting something together for the first time. Probably not the smartest guy in the world to do it on video and show everybody, right? So we're right there in the center, exactly where we want to be. We're good on this. We're sliding easy, and just a little bit of downward pressure, you can feel it dragging. So I'm thinking that has to be pretty good right there. Let's double check everything. We've got this so we can move it. We're centered up. I don't know that we need to go any further that way. Well, I like the movement of that. It's just smooth as silk. Of course, like anything, it'll take some getting used to. Now, the next step in this process is going to be to take a piece of clear acetate, hopefully one that's cleaner than the one I've got here, and tape over the screen so that then I am obviously just kind of setting this up quick and dirty right now. I will find a better piece of acetate to use and do a more permanent installation later. Now that that's done, we want to bring our little chart up here, and we want to put that so that it's covering right there. There is a problem here. You remember earlier I said we need to have the image in the center of the screen, side to side and top and bottom? Well, we don't have it there, do we? So let's bring that back over. And wow, that pretty much did it. And honestly, I would like to have that a little bit bigger. I don't know if we can make it bigger, but let's come down, and that seems to be a little bit sharper there too. So what I just did was I lowered the bar that the camera's attached to. And again, I think we're pretty close. Okay, now that we've got that done, the very next step is to take a dry erase marker, and we're going to draw right here on this. And as you can see, I could have had a better dry erase marker, but I think this will take care of us for right now. And then for right now, we're going to just use this line right here, which should give us a 1/4 inch. And again, if I had a better marker, I think it would show up better. Note to self, Office Depot in the morning. Here's what happens when we take that away and when we go into a bowl. You can see, and the reason I set a bowl up here, guys, instead of a hollow form, is I wanted us to be able to look in here and see exactly what we were getting. So I'm going to set that camera up so you're on the monitor. And I'm going to put this right here, and you'll notice we got about a 1 inch wall thickness there. You see where my finger is. We should be going to where that line is on the outside of that. Now I don't know if I dare, but I somehow just can't help myself. We got to turn the lathe on. So we're going to turn it down. And you can tell this bowl is way out of round. Okay, just a note to myself. This is a roughed out bowl. It's been allowed to dry, and so it is warped something terrible. And I probably should have never turned the lathe on because this is not what this is set up for. However, it did give me a couple of clues. Number one, I got a little bit of vibration here. I probably need to set that just a little bit tighter right there. As far as the video, I'm loving that. I need a fresh, dry erase marker. We know where to get those. This camera, that's an Amazon product, and I'll tell you what, I will put a link at the bottom of the description above all the other links if anybody wants to take a look at that camera. It wasn't that much money, guys. Most of you probably do have a monitor. The acetate, easy enough to find. Dry erase markers, we know where to find those. As you can tell throughout this video, this really was me putting this thing together. I am not associated with Trent Bosch. I have shaken hands with a man a couple of times. Normally it involved me giving him money and him saying thank you. As far as being friends or him sponsoring my video, that is just not the case. It's just when I started looking at a hollowing system, I kept hearing Trent Bosch, Trent Bosch. I looked at some of the others. I went and looked at a couple of different hollowing systems at some of my friends' shops. And above all, I liked the Trent Bosch the best. I will say the one I worked with was a 5/8 with the one way, and being a bigger lathe, knowing myself, as much as I like to turn small things, I sometimes like to put some pretty good size chunks of wood on this thing myself. So I went ahead and went with the 3/4. Whether that's going to be a benefit long run, I don't know. I may never need the 3/4, but it wasn't that much more to go ahead and upgrade, and it'd be a whole lot more if I needed to buy it separately later. My opinion on the Trent Bosch stabilizing system is it's an A+ piece of equipment. I can't imagine me changing my mind on that in the future. If I do, you guys know I will let you know. I hope this has been helpful in showing someone how to set up the camera system. One thing I will let you know is these cameras are round. That means you can turn it upside down. It is like a regular camera. It has a bottom and a top. I had to figure that out last night playing with it in the house. I think it's going to be a great little system. Let me know what you guys think, and what system do you use, or do you use one at all? I will tell you, you don't have to have one. I hollowed for many years just using hand tools. Folks, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy turning.